So, Nick, obviously, this is not how you wanted to see your season end, but overall, I think you should be proud of what you've accomplished this year. Is that how you kind of feel like you were able to step in and really put this team? I know you guys didn't reach your goal, but you know, everyone kind of put you guys down with Chad being out, but you seem to really elevate this team. How happy were you with the fact that you were able to do that this year?
Like you said, obviously this isn't how we wanted the season to end, or in terms of our win and loss record and not being able to be in the playoffs. But I'm really happy about how just the team battled throughout the year, and our offense played at a really high level. Throughout most of the season, we were either first or second. In points scored and many statistical categories offensively that showed our impact in the game and what we can do. So I'm really proud of the work the guys have put in to consistently, despite our record, to keep battling. And even as though we look down, kind of that midway point of the season, we fought back. We got on a good win streak going. Unfortunately, we couldn't continue to overcome some of the injuries that we started taking on in September, but it's part of the reason you can't just dig yourself in a hole early on in the year. And while we need to find the ways that as a team and as myself personally, we can start differently and start better. Come back next year and learn from what happened this year, learn from the things to build on and some of the things we need to correct.
I know last year there was a lot of uncertainty about what your football journey was going to look like. Do you feel like you have a lot more clarity now, given how you performed, and you've really seemed to really put yourself in a really good spot with this team and the locker room itself? Do you feel like you have clarity on where you feel now that you can still play at a high level in this league and still be a starting quarterback?
Yeah, for sure. I've never wavered in the confidence in myself and what I could do if given an opportunity. Just never knew, quite where that opportunity was going to be or if it was going to be one. And, I'm really grateful to be able to have the opportunity to play as much as I did this year, be able to showcase what I can do and what I've always believed in myself, my ability to do. Definitely have clarity. I feel like that, there's enough people around the league that, that have seen me play now and have seen me play an extended period of time, who would trust me to be their quarterback. I still don't know what's to come for this offseason or what's to come for next year. But, I've loved playing for this organization the past 2 years. I've loved playing for Dinwiddie and been able to have a lot of success with him and whenever I've have the privilege to be his quarterback. So, whatever happens, I'm just happy to be able to have had this year playing as much as I did and be able to get the opportunity to work with all these guys, all these receivers and O-linemen and players all throughout the team that have helped us, have a memorable year, even though it wasn't the result we wanted.
What's something positive you feel like this group can take going forward? I know it's hard right now, given your season's ending and other teams are going to be going and playing for a Grey Cup. But what do you think is positive that this group can take going into the offseason into next year?
One of the things that kind of stuck out to me throughout the year was how deep of a passing attack we had. How many different receivers had led our team in receiving or receptions or touchdowns at various points in the season. To be able to throw for as many thousands of yards as we've had, and to not have a single 1,000-yard receiver on the roster is pretty incredible. For us to be able to have Coxie, almost hit 1,000 yards in his first 10 games or so, and then get hurt. Obviously, he's one of the most dynamic and best playmakers in the league. And then after his injury, to be able to hit a 3-game win streak, and for young guys to step up, for Herslow, to catch on fire, taking the spot of Coxie when he got his chance. All those things were really cool things to look back on. When you're going through 2 months of the season and you're averaging over 30 points a game, that's really successful for an offense in pro football. And we had great moments where we've battled it out with some of the best teams in the league that are going to be going into the playoffs. So, I didn't feel like there was at any point, at least not in the first 15, 16 games, where we weren't competitive and we weren't in every game until the last minute. We just got to, change the way we finished some of those games and could have had a much different season.
How do you see the injury kind of impacting maybe your offseason? Do you feel like you're going to be in a position? I know some guys will take some time off, let the body heal, but given your injury, do you feel like it's going to take a little bit more time for you to get ready for next year?
No, not at all. Normally I would take November off and kind of ramp up when December comes anyways. It's unfortunate that I wasn't able to play last 3 games of the season or whatever it was since my injury. But, I'll be out of this sling, the next couple weeks. I should be able to throw and make a full recovery by mid-November, and I'll be able to start December 1st, just kind of with a normal off-season program, off-season routine, and, throwing 3-4 times a week just like I normally would.
A lot of fans enter the season wondering if you were the Grey Cup guy or whether you were, somebody else. You won a lot of people over this year. What do you say to that fan base?
It was cool just to have anybody, support me and believe in me. Got people messaging me on social media or sending me letters and stuff, just, cheering for me and appreciating, the work that I put in. And people who have, it was cool seeing people message me and looking back, and I had messages from them previously as fans from like 2018, 2019, guys who have followed my career for many years now. And so that was just really cool to experience. And obviously, there's nothing for us to play or play for if there aren't people, willing to watch us and spend that time, getting to enjoy what we're doing. So it's really cool to have that perspective and to be able to see, people with my jerseys and want autographs and things like that.
Appreciate you.